Hey, welcome to the Ball Hogs. Another brand new episode for you guys as we sit here, chat about hoops. My name is Mo. I'm in Las Vegas. In studio there, Metro Manila, Philippines. Jinno Rufino and Aaron Ataide. Guys, there's a lot to talk about after another long week of drama.
Drama
Scandal.
is right.
You know, it's scandal, but, you know, a lot of good games that happened. Boy, did you see that Cavs-Wizards game? That was fantastic.
That was beautiful.
One of the better games this season. So
Charles Oakley?
saw Charles Oakley get arrested today. That's right. We saw the Heat, win their 12th straight. I mean,
we saw the Nets lose their 12th straight for the second time of the season. There's a lot of basketball to talk about.
Yeah, there is.
That's right. Let's get to it. So let's start off with the starting five. We have 5 topics lined up, and I'm going to throw it over to you, Aaron, to kick it off. What do you got?
As I catch that pass, I throw it on over to Mr. Jinno Rufino to start us out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I?
No, it's okay.
That's okay.
It's
okay.
Despite us being
Ball
ball
movement.
hogs.
Ball move,
yeah.
we're ball hogs with ball movement. Awesome.
All right.
No, but I mean,
Speaking of ball hogs, your topic.
I mean, we've talked about this for three episodes, 3 weeks in a row now, and it just won't die down. In fact, I think it's getting worse.
Yes.
Right? I mean, the whole thing between, look what Charles Oakley did. He went nuts in Madison Square Garden. But the whole thing between Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson, Phil Jackson, after being silent for so long, is heard from again because he sent out a tweet about the Kevin Ding article on Melo. And it's a little strange for me that the president of basketball operations is kind of being an absolute dick to his star player, or at least his second star player, if you want to look at it that way. And I just don't understand why Phil Jackson is doing this. I mean, I understand, fine, if he doesn't get along with the guy, and fine, he's done the same thing to Kobe Bryant before. But the way he's going about with this whole thing with Melo now is, it can't do anything good for the Knicks, right? No. I mean, and he's making it harder for teams to want to trade for Melo, and I just don't understand
I think
why.
I think where it's gonna bite him more. And again, I don't think it's Jackson versus Melo. I think it's Jackson versus Jackson. I think you have a front office head here who has zero capability of being accountable for a poor season, and I think that's what's wrong with Phil. It's the Knicks suck. They've made some bad decisions. He's been a part of that, and he's just going to blame somebody else for it. And in this case, it's Carmelo this time around. Mm-hmm. And, even if they get rid of Carmelo and they suck next year, you know what? He's going to blame it on somebody else. I don't think it's Carmelo. It's Phil's doesn't have the capability of saying, okay, we suck, and it's a group effort. It's me included. It's we suck, and it's their fault, and it's not my fault. And instead of hurting, I think, the chances of teams trading for Carmelo, which I don't think it does, I think it hurts the Knicks' chances of signing any free agents, because now, if you're a free agent star and you want to play in the big market of New York and Madison Square Garden and all that good stuff, guess what? I don't want to sign with Phil because he talks shit. Talk shit about your guys if they don't do well, and I don't want that. I don't want to be part of that, especially in a brutal media environment like that, with a stadium that will boo you if you don't do well. If your top guy's booing you, and he's part of the problem, I don't want to be booed for his kasalanan niya, diba? So I think that's where it's going to hurt the Knicks, the ability to sign marquee free agents, and at the same time, it'll make it'll kind of be the cancer in the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. And it's your top guy. Yeah,
you're the guy who's in charge of the clubhouse is the one that's causing all of this bullshit there. And the fact that as a Phil fan, what he's as a Phil, like a freaking diehard Phil Jackson fan that I am, read all his books and I mean this whole
he's not very zen anymore.
No, he's not zen at all. And he's tarnishing his legacy as far as I'm concerned. As a Phil Jackson fan, I can't stand this version of Phil Jackson.
Okay, I know that this is out of left field, but do you think a divorce or ending an engagement can result in this? Like a man absolutely losing his mind? I mean, he did end his relationship. I mean, this has absolutely nothing to do with basketball. But do you think that might have some role here? Yeah, that he's lost his mind and lost his marbles.
Maybe he's just getting old. He's 70 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an older guy.
He's a grumpy old man.
He's possibly on his last year, with the Knicks, and who knows? I don't know what's going on over there. I'm not a Phil fan. I don't know if this is out of character for him. I know he's always been a tough guy as a player and as a coach, and maybe he just doesn't deal with losing very well, and he's not used to losing.
He's not
and
used
when
to
he's
it.
in the face, when he's in the face of losing, it's instead of well, you're right. He's tarnishing his legacy. I think he thinks he's trying to save his legacy because he's all about winning, and now being associated with this team that's abysmal, and they've been abysmal under his watch. What was my stat the other week? Like they're negative. They're 70+ games under 500 with Phil in the organization. It's crazy, and he just. Don't look at me. I'm not part of that stuff. My record looks good, and no, it doesn't. It looks awful.
And I completely agree. And I think that's also one of the reasons why he didn't. And no matter how many times people in New York wanted him to do it, he didn't take that head coaching position because he knew
they were shit.
Exactly, and he wasn't going to.
Steve Kerr knew he was shit. They're like, I'm not going over there. I don't care who you are. Everybody knows it's bad. It's a bad situation. It's been bad for a long time.
And the sources now are saying that Phil Jackson is underestimating how much Carmelo wants to stay in New York, and how much Carmelo loves New York, and we do see it. He doesn't see it, and now he's kind of pushing him away with LeBron. Kinda, that they have a WhatsApp group where they're talking.
There were rumors, right, that LeBron was pushing the Cavaliers to acquire Carmelo Anthony, and this is the kicker. Even if it included Kevin Love in the deal, of course, one of the big three on that Cavs squad. So maybe we can let's transition. Let's jump off that story, which already LeBron has denied. But it's not like this is anything new. I think was it the other season? LeBron was very much trying to get Carmelo to play for the Cavaliers. Carmelo was willing to listen to the possibility. And I think he's, there are rumors that he's still willing to listen to it up to now. While, yes, he wants to stay in New York, I think he's got leverage. I mean, his contract is guaranteed there, and Phil is not, right? So maybe I'm going to stay here because I might wait this out. Phil's going to be the one that's gone. But let's play hypothetical. Let's say LeBron... And as influential as he is to his own GM and his own owner, maybe he's just as influential to his friends. And let's say LeBron says, okay, I'm able to convince Carmelo to come to Cleveland. And that deal does involve Kevin Love going to New York. I want to ask you guys, are the Cavaliers better off or better suited to play Golden State in the finals with Kevin Love or with Carmelo Anthony on that team? Because that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of this has anything to do with the Eastern Conference. This is all this bitching, whining, and whatever has everything to do with Golden State in the finals. We've established that in the past weeks. So are they better equipped to take on the Warriors with Carmelo, sans Kevin Love?
I mean, they've proven last season that they can pretty much win a championship, a series against the Warriors.
It's a different Golden State, though.
And I know. So without Kevin Love, but this is a different Golden State Warriors. There's a lot of firepower there, and if you're gonna try and match that firepower by adding Carmelo Anthony, it might not be enough, right? I mean, I don't know if whether it's gonna be Love there or Melo. I don't know if they can. I just don't think.
You don't think that they could beat?
I don't think they can beat Golden State
with either of them.
Okay, but let's look at the strengths.
okay.
How much better do the Cavaliers, in what aspects of the Cavaliers game do they improve with Carmelo there? Is it closing, because Carmelo can close, creating own shots? Kevin Love doesn't create. Carmelo can. Playmaking, all that stuff. Carmelo has the edge. But you lose a front court player. Yeah, you lose a big front court player and that can rebound in Kevin Love. Kevin Love's probably a better three-point shooter.
Yes.
And
he's probably a better passer.
Yeah, with Kyrie and LeBron able to penetrate and kick out, Kevin Love is a better shooter.
Yes, and that's where I would still say I would go with Kevin Love for Cleveland at this point. I mean, I still see it as the Kevin Love also made the biggest stop of the series. Last time,
because he's like 6'10".
Exactly.
And
and if you think about it the other way, if you had Carmelo in that position, would he have been able to do the same stop? I mean, Carmelo has never been known to be a defensive type of player.
Well, neither has Kevin Love. But let me throw this one in. You have team chemistry. We've heard in the past that LeBron and Kevin Love, maybe not the best of friends. From Instagram photos, there's always these little issues that come up how they're not very close. You put Carmelo there, and LeBron gets to play with his buddies. He becomes a better player when he's playing with his friends, like Dwayne Wade and all that stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not here to question Kevin Love's motivation because he's a champion. But don't you think that Carmelo would be starving for a championship.
Absolutely.
At this part of his career.
I think that's why I mean, if it's possible, I would roll that dice because it does add more firepower, and I think Melo will just go all balls out if he does get this chance to see the NBA Finals and be there with LeBron James. I don't think, and I think we'll see the best Carmelo Anthony ever. I don't, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know
about
if the
that.
talent. I don't know if the talent's there, but yeah, you never know. The mind might will the body
That's
over
what I'm
because
thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
we saw Carmelo at the Olympics. Again, he's clearly in decline. We all know that, but he still plays at an incredibly high level when surrounded by a winning environment.
Which
if you put him in Cleveland, of course, now they become, obviously the favorite to be in the finals, and that is his chance. That finally the chance he's never had.
You know what? You do bring up a very good point. I do now with that type of mentality. Man, I would not mind seeing Carmelo in the Cavs jersey.
I wouldn't. I mean, I think.
And you got Corver now with what he did today on that wing. Oh man.
So I mean, it's not crazy to think that Melo will, if he gets this chance. I really think that he would play probably the best basketball we've seen at least in years.
Do you think you would see a better LeBron? Would you see a better Kyrie?
I'm not sure. I'm not because I mean Melo's still a ball dominant player, and that's kind of what Kyrie is now, right? So, and that's why it's a little bit strange because Kevin Love kind of fits that role. I mean, sometimes they hide him in the corner a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does because he doesn't need the ball in his hands. But
that's
I mean, he's kind of a spot up shooter type of guy, and or a garbage type of guy. He'll get the offensive rebound and get the putback. But to have another creator there with two of the best creators in the game, and you add another guy, it's intriguing. It's intriguing to me that yes, they're still not going to match the firepower of the Dubs, but at least they come a little bit closer. Now, whether the firepower is probably the right way to go about it or not, I don't know. I think the way they're structured now will probably. I mean, basketball sense, yes, it makes more sense to go with this lineup against the Dubs, but it's kind of a variable that you really don't know if it's going to work or not. But if it works, I think it might. I think it could be something special.
I think when you have the best player in the world in the NBA in LeBron James, and you've got a young friggin' stud in Kyrie Irving, you're gonna find your way there. Yeah. Are you gonna beat the Golden State Warriors? Here's my only problem with it, as it does seem like we're all leaning to Carmelo. Yeah, go Carmelo, go to Cleveland. Let's see it.
I'm still in love, but I'm interested in Melo.
You need gel time.
Yeah,
and if you get traded, obviously the trade deadline's up in 2 weeks now, or a little under. You need time to gel, and if you're going to do that, in less than half a season, I'm not sure if that's enough time for you to be NBA Finals ready.
But we've seen it, right? We've seen Rasheed Wallace come into the Detroit Pistons in 2004 and be the final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, well, we've seen it with Miami as well. Not win the championship when they had their big three that very first year. So it's risky, and I'm not sure.
It's risky.
They're
Put it this way.
at a place where they can be that risky.
Put it this way. It's risky, right? I mean, it's no doubt about it. It's a big risk to take. But whether they have Melo or Love, they're going to be in the finals anyway.
Right, but that's not the thing, though. The issue is, can they beat Golden State?
Yeah, absolutely not. The way they're structured now in a 7-game series, I don't think they'll beat Golden State.
So will they have a better chance at beating Golden State with Kevin Love?
That's what I don't know. I mean, I'm intrigued by it, and I think Melo will play awesome, but I don't know if it's still going to be enough. You could add Melo. You could add Melo to the Cavs now with Love, and I still don't know if it'll be enough to beat the Warriors in a 7-game series.
I don't know about that.
That would have Tristan Thompson coming off of the bench.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's not a guarantee.
Yeah,
it's not a guarantee. But I mean, you're right. The gel time is needed. But you know whose gel time was almost seamless? KD's.
Well, I mean, KD and Melo are two very, very different players. But KD is going to be put in a very difficult situation as he will be returning back to his former home, and he will be playing his first game in Oklahoma City.
Boy,
this is gonna get awkward.
You know what's gonna be awesome if the Dubs decide to rest him.
Oh, like you don't even fly with us.
Don't even stay here. Stay at home.
Stay home.
Well, let's kind of start then with some fanfare stuff. Does he get booed? Does he get cheered?
He gets booed. Booed all throughout the game. Every single touch.
I don't think so.
You think he's gonna get cheered?
I think Oklahoma City shows a little bit of respect. I mean, this is not a guy who just brought you, basketball success, not a title, but basketball success. But he was so generous to the community. I think they're going to recognize that. I don't think they boo him. But you know what? That's a 50-50 thing.
He even said that he was going to get booed. In an interview, he said that he was going to get booed. He goes, I know they're going to be rowdy there, man. I've been part of some of the loudest nights in that arena. So I know it's not going to be the friendliest welcome. But like I said, I can't wait to see the people that I really built relationships with. See, he was just like, I'm still nice, guys. Like,
I disagree. I think they're going to show some respect to Kevin Durant. I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest players of all time. All right, anyway, let's talk more about this.
Let's talk more. Okay, so this interview came out, of course, in anticipation for the return of Kevin Durant to the Oklahoma City arena. Now, the thing that was really interesting for me in this conversation was the topic when they asked him about his relationship and how it has gone with Russell Westbrook. And he said, I was doing an interview with someone and I used the word unselfish to describe my teammates here with the Warriors. And someone asked Russell the question and asked as if what I said was being unselfish. And he phrased it as a question, saying that the organization and his team was selfish in return. So he's kind of saying that the media has blown this entire fight between KD and Russ completely out of proportions. Do you agree? Have we read too much into this? Has everything become a subtweet? Are we looking at Russ wearing that photographer's jersey and saying, oh, dude, it's your ex posting something and it was obviously about you? Are we looking into it too much?
I don't know. I think, and you guys might help me refresh my memory about what happened. When KD left to go to Golden State, did he call Russell? Did he text Russell? Did he inform Russell or any of those things?
No.
So then I don't think the media can be blamed. I think maybe your actions can be blamed. When you don't send messages to your teammates or call them and say, guys, had a great run, but this is why I have to do that, yada, 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 then you're really going to be open to having some of those guys feel really bad about everything. Oh, yeah. And then if your quotes are not spot on, then yes, it's going to be, it's going to get blown out of proportion and a fight's going to ensue. So I think, yes, the media can blow things up. Are they solely responsible? Can Kevin Durant say, the media is the one that made this? No, dude, you did not call your teammates.
Yeah.
So they're going to be pissed.
Of course. I think it's going to be pretty, hostile. I think that's kind of nice to say that it's going to be hostile. I mean, because remember, especially the way the first game panned out, right? The first game between these two teams panned out in Golden State, and KD and the Warriors were so gung ho, and it was like KD was mad. He was mad about he was mad. And I don't know if that was his teammates in Golden State kind of just trying to light a fire underneath him, trying to piss him off, and he'll play better. I don't know, but it was a little strange to me that siya pa yung galit, right? He's the one who left,
right, and there was kind of some trash talk, and some stares, and all of that stuff.
I didn't understand why KD was the guy that was pissed off in that game, and I mean because of that. I mean, fine. Had this been the second game, or I don't know, but it's coming back to OKC. I mean, he's gonna get booed like never. I don't think we've heard before in the NBA.
And that's why.
No, I doubt that. I mean, okay, say he does get booed. I don't think it's gonna be a historical booing.
No,
I just can't say that.
That's why I wanted to go with this whole media thing first, because all of the fans of OKC have obviously read every single article, have seen every single interview between Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook when referring to each other. They've looked into each and every post as well and said, hey, bro, he's talking about you, bro. And I know that when Kevin Durant comes out and the first time he touches that ball, oh, man, he's going to hear it. He is going to hear it. I mean, if Vince Carter heard it when he went back to Toronto, and that was Vince Carter, man. I mean, come on. KD going back to Oklahoma City the year after you freaking lost, when you blew a 3-1 lead as well. you're gonna get some pain, man. You're gonna get some
We'll
pain.
see. We'll see.
All right. Moving on. Speaking of seeing, okay, we've seen it on the show. We've talked about it a couple times. We said a while ago, about 4 or 5 episodes back, that it was a 2-man race in the MVP. Then we were kind of leaning towards it being a 3-man race with now Kawhi Leonard joining James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Question. Is it now a 4-man race? Has Isaiah Thomas inserted himself, no matter how small he is, into this MVP conversation with what he has done for the Boston Celtics?
No.
The conversation, yes.
But it's not a 4-man race. I mean, fine, conversation, yes, but not a 4-man race.
Really?
No.
I don't know, man. I always get confused by the both of you and everybody else who really gets on this show, and we talk about the MVP and how much a team's standing means to this. They're 3 games away from the top seed in the East.
Exactly.
That's really close. And if they get that far without the studs and all of that stuff that some of these teams have, I think you have to consider him. As much as I want Russell Westbrook to win the award, and you guys have him as a 2-man race guy, dude, Isaiah is doing things like Russell's doing in the sense of carrying a team to a fantastic record. 3 games out of the number 1 seed is a really big deal. I think he has to be in the race, and I don't know if he's as far off as 1, 2, and 3. In fact, same with Kawhi. Like, dude, if the season ended now and Kawhi won the MVP, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm super okay with that. Because the record speaks for itself. It's a fantastic record, and Boston has it.
So they're number 2 right now in the Eastern Conference. 3, like you said, 3 games away from the from the Cleveland Cavaliers. But the Rockets still have a better record than they do.
Still. I mean, how far off is San Antonio from Golden State? They're 3.5 behind Golden State.
He is dead last. He is dead last in defense.
I know. He's awful, but James Harden is a pretty poor defender himself. I think if they catch Cleveland, and because that would be so kind of mind-boggling if the Cavaliers don't win the East, I think Isaiah is a bit a more serious consideration for the thing. I mean, come on, he's not the favorite, and he's not a favorite of mine. It's just he's a little bit closer than a lot of people give him credit for.
Yes, and
closer than anyone thought he would be in for his entire career. Yes, I'll say that. But to say that he will get votes over Russell Westbrook, over James Harden, over Kawhi Leonard. No, he will be in the conversation. I'm okay with it. And I'm Isaiah. I'm an IT fan. I mean, I'll be a Celtics fan, but I always root for the little guy. And I want to see him do well. But for me to actually say that he is part of he would get some first place votes over those 3 other guys that we've mentioned is preposterous. I don't think anybody should vote for him number 1. Now, should he be in the top 5? Yeah, maybe. But they shouldn't vote for him over those 3 guys.
Sure. No, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
but I mean, if you really do look at it, he's 1 game behind James Harden. He's doing something that nobody has ever done before. I mean, when you say, and we've talked about this all the time, and Mo, you have pointed this out almost on every single time that we've talked about the MVP. He is the most valuable player in the East. Let's even put it at that.
In the East?
Okay, what?
Okay,
If
so
LeBron
far
goes
he's the best.
down,
If
LeBron goes down, you think the Cavs are good?
Okay, he's the best closer in the NBA right now.
Yes.
He's and statistically he's the best
Easily.
closer. He's the best closer of all time. I said right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean in the past month or whatever, right? And if he can continue to do it at this pace
And win.
and have them win, I think so. I mean, you know how we all love Russell Westbrook because he's a little spark plug, 6'3", able to pull down 10 rebounds. Dude, 5'9", and being able to carry a team is freaking nuts. So I don't know, man. I think for the love we have for Westbrook should be shared for the love we will have or should have by now for Isaiah Thomas.
Yes, I
He's
agree.
taking a small guy doing very big things.
Yeah.
Somebody get this dude a shoe. Like, he needs his own shoe already.
He loves those Kobe's, man.
I know.
No, but I mean, like I said, I love this guy. I really, really do. I love any guy who's under 6 feet tall that plays in the NBA. But I mean, and I understand. I have so much respect for what he's done and for carrying the team in the fourth quarter and for doing all the stuff that he's done. I mean, to be compared to Allen Iverson, uh, speaks volumes, right?
Yes.
And I totally get it. I mean, it's nice to see, and it's nice to see. I mean, even as a Laker fan, it's nice to see the Celtics doing well, because one of the historic, the storied franchises in the NBA, or actually in sports, is back to where sort of back to where they belong. So I totally get it, and I totally understand the appeal, and I totally like appreciate everything about Isaiah Thomas, but I just can't. No, not over those three guys. Not over those. No.
If Russ drops down to maybe 8th, maybe 7th in the standings, I would vote IT over Russ. I know it sucks, but
I can't.
Man, he's not winning. He's not winning.
He's 1 point. He's 1 point away from Russell Westbrook for leading the league in scoring. 5'9" and leading the NBA in scoring.
You gotta love that,
5'9" and closing better than anyone in the history of the NBA. That is mighty, dude. That's mighty sexy there, and I think, I think it's worth serious consideration.
Yes. All right, moving
Former
forward.
son.
Yes, former son. We let him go for nothing. All we got was a pack of Tic Tacs. Let's move on to our final topic for today, and it is, of course, your Gilas topic for your starting five. And we dissected the 25, well, now 26, if you include Andre Blatch into the national team pool. And we saw, okay, out of the 12 cadets, how many of those do you think could take the spots of non-cadet players? If you're going to take 12, let's say, okay, you got to take 11. Andre Blatch is the 11th. So out of the 11 spots, how many cadets could fill in the remainder of that list?
How many or who?
How many and who would they be?
So you have who's there? Matthew Wright.
I would say Matthew.
Well, maybe.
Bello.
Would you take Matthew Wright over Mac Bello?
No, I take them both.
I take them both.
I take them both.
Yeah.
So then that would leave
Why
you.
don't we
Fill it out? You want to fill it up?
Not fill it up, but more like, okay, how many cadets do you think they'll take?
3?
You think they'll take that many?
For the SEABA?
Yeah.
They could go more for the SEABA. I mean, Coach Chot has said that he might use mostly cadets plus Andre Blatch for SEABA. Like when he was on the show, that's what he said.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
So what question are we going to ask here then for this one?
Okay, so how many? You want to say how many? I guess we could do how many.
How many cadets?
How many cadets would make it into the final 12 for the SEABA lineup?
I would say at least 50%.
So out of the 11, 5?
Maybe 5. Yeah.
5?
I would. I mean, if Coach Chot has said that he's going to use mostly cadets, if not all cadets plus Dre.
No, well, I mean, he might be saying that because we know all the national teams listen to Ball Hogs and they're doing their scouting report. That's exactly. Just trying to put it under the radar. What about you, Mo? How many cadets?
I don't know.
You have always been the person that said we have to send the best.
Yeah, that's
every
why
single time.
I wouldn't take as many. I would. Gosh, you know what? Okay, I'll be 100% honest. I'd only take Mac Bello. But if you were going to take one more, then it would be, of course, Matthew Wright. But that's it, man. I wouldn't take any more than 2. And of course, I think Mac is cut above any other cadets anyway. I mean, I know Wright's a fine player, but Mac Bello's a beast, and he's the only guy I would take if I was going to take one.
Because
I thought that's the question we were going to ask.
Yeah,
because I can't fathom taking 5.
No, I can't say 5. If at most I would say 3, and that would just be to bring in a shooter, maybe Von Pesumal, just an outside shooter because of
But
the
Wright's your
drive.
outside shooter, right? I mean, he's the best shooter of the cadets. Matthew Wright is the best.
Well, I want to see what Vaughn could do in a dribble drive.
You have Kevin Ferrer.
Kevin Ferrer's shot has gone missing, man. I mean, ever since he did not stop eating hot dogs, like this dude, like
I mean, and they don't have, like, who's the best shooter in the PBA? Is it Lassiter? He's not on the team.
No,
right?
he's not on the team.
Yeah, so you consider Matthew Wright. I
Jeff
think he's the
Chan
best
has
shooter of the
not
cadets.
Jeff's shot has gone missing as well.
Well, and that's why he has gone missing on the lineup as well.
he's gone-
So that's why. I mean, this was actually a conversation.
Plus his size with Wright.
I was
Sorry,
having
go.
a conversation with Cheska Leton, and she was like, "Where are the shooters? We need shooters on this team, especially if you have a dribble drive offense.
If Coach Chot team,
Yes,
you need shooters.
You need a shooter, and I still hate Von Pesumal with a passion because of him playing for Ateneo and making that outside shot on a dribble drive offense that made my life a living hell So I would love to see him on the national team. So for the first time, I could cheer for him. It's kind of like how it was nice to finally cheer for Larry Fonacher.
Well, I mean,
And Von will have Laurie Lehman wherever he goes. Like, that would be beautiful.
I mean, I can see Vaughn. I mean, he'll fill the void of what Jeff Chan brought to the team.
Maybe even like Gary. Like, Gary was the 12th guy, man. I'll take that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm only basing why I said 5 players.
So who would your 5 be?
Well, you have Mac. See, I mean, I like the size and the shooting of Frere, but you're right. I mean, he hasn't really been.
Dude, he's got way too much size now. Like, he needs to do some cardio.
I mean, Vaughn's a friend, so I'd like to see him, get his shot.
Okay, so that's your 3
with the big boys. Matthew Wright.
That Wright would be the 3rd. What?
Right.
Halalon?
Oh. Do you need?
See,
It depends It depends which of the senior guys.
you're gonna go big. It's gonna be Junmar. It's gonna be Calvin.
Japet.
It's gonna be Japet. It's gonna be Terrence, and
Castro.
and Raymond Almazan and Castro.
Yeah, you need Castro.
So then that's 6.
Okay, so 6 and 4.
6, 4, and
plus
1.
Dre.
Then that's 11.
Oh yeah, just one more. My math is fantastic.
So 7, 4, 1. I think that would be a good way to go. 7, 4, 1. 7 pros, 4 cadets, 1 Andre Blatch.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Again,
maybe give him a chance.
I'm not trying to be
Well, it's gonna go
a
10,
Byron
1, 1.
Scott here or whoever, one of these coaches that don't want to play the young guys. It's just, I don't know, man. Bring your best and let the best continue to gel. I think Max got some international experience, right? He excelled playing with the cadet squad.
Yep.
He could shoot from outside. He could score from just about anywhere. He's above average defender. He's a good rebounder. He fits that. If he fills that Miranda del slot, I think he's the only one to go.
Yeah.
And then Wright, if you twist my
Okay.
arm and coach us, I'm sorry, Mo, no, we're taking another. I'm like, okay, take Wright as a shooter.
I mean, I think we all agree that Mac Bello is the one cadet that will 100% make it.
Yes. No, actually, you know what? I think Matthew Wright is a lock. I was talking
Okay,
to
so that's- okay,
I was talking to Gabe Norwood, and even Gabe, who, by the way, happy birthday, Gabe. It's his
Oh, that's
birthday
right.
today.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
He really does see a lot of himself in Matthew Wright, and if we could have a Gabe version 2, I'm all for that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm all for that.
Hell yeah.
All right, that'll wrap up your starting 5 this time around on Ball Hogs PH. We're going to cut it to a break. When we return, it's time for one-on-one. Part of the show where we take your calls and you guys have the opportunity to throw fisticuffs with the likes
Fisticuffs.
of Mo Twister, Gino Rufino, and myself. And we always started out with a guest caller, and this time around, it is a man that has brought championships to a wonderful school known as LaSalle. One of the most comedic players in terms of the PBA's history, the man that brought T-bowing to the Philippines,
Whose social media account should be worth a lot.
monitored. And it was for quite a while. My
Was he also
partner
the
in crime-
highest fined player of all time
of all
in PBA
time.
history?
I
Is
think
that
it
right?
might be
That's
in the world.
Yeah. Hey, that's the best
Assistant
benchmark.
coach. Assistant coach
Yeah.
now
Of Adamson.
to Adamson.
Yes, and my partner, whenever it comes to calling the signal games of the PBA, we got Don Allado. A lot of Don joining us.
How you doing, guys? Don't forget about my planking. The first plank.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Congratulations, man. You are a social media god in the Philippines.
I'd like to have the numbers that Mo hit, that Mo hit pulls in, but he's just on a different level. That's my idol.
Well, that's because I cyberbully like politicians and their kids and all that stuff. But you do that, you'll pull in some numbers. Trust me. You get a lot of haters though out of it, but it's all
What
good.
Don did to the PBA on social
Yeah, I did
media,
the same thing.
that's kind of what Mo does to the president.
That's right.
So Don, you got to step up your game, bro. Okay,
Hey, but listen, at the same time, I'll never be a 3-time PBA champ.
That is
And again, Don, we are not worthy, man. You are the man, and we appreciate that you're here. So let's fight. What do you guys got?
Let's bring up your topic, Don. What you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the 73 wins of the Golden State Warriors of last season.
Huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got a new angle to this? Is this the one that Jordan brought up? Was it the other day where he said it didn't mean anything because they didn't win the championship?
Well, in today's society, in today's world, obviously you are measured by championships. You know, whatever you do in elimination round, definitely they are the best team in elimination round. But we're all playing here for the championship, and unfortunately, they had the greatest record so far in NBA history.
Let's
Before you go there, before you fire all your bullets.
Don't fire the bullets. Just tell us your stand.
Okay.
Was it a wasted season because they didn't win a championship?
Definitely, it's a wasted season for me.
All right.
And the record doesn't mean-
Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's see
Who agrees, who disagrees.
I agree. I think 73 wins means nothing if you don't win a championship. And
It's special, but not as special as 72.
yeah, I mean,
It's 73, but it's
it don't mean
there's an
nothing without the ring.
asterisk.
Don't mean
There's an
nothing without
asterisk
the ring.
there. Of course, most Warriors fan here.
course.
So
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not going to argue this as a Warriors fan. I'm going to argue this as a stats fan, and I'll take on Don here.
Okay.
I think it absolutely means so much, even though there's no championship. So, let's get to it, Don. I'm excited about this
Don?
one because I'm
Okay.
not sure if I'm going to win this one because
Don,
I'm sure
you go ahead.
as a player, you guys know championships are everything. So go ahead.
Here we go.
My thing there is, again, today's society, you are measured by your championships, and not to take anything away from the Warriors, I feel that in the elimination round, yes, they are the best. Statistic-wise, they've done so much, and that's part of growing up. That's part of their process. But, of course, in the end, the championships, they missed the championship. They missed out on that, and that's the most important part of every organization, of every team and players. We play for championships.
Okay. All right.
Well, I don't think it means because the phrase is the 73 win season means nothing because they didn't win a championship, and I'm so against a statement like that because the championship is an award, and these kind of records that are being set stand the test of time. There's going to be a new champion every year. Some of these records will never be broken or will stand a very long time. To say a season is wasted is preposterous thinking what goes on in a season. For example, Russell Westbrook, if he ends up with a triple-double, he's not going to win a championship. OKC's not going to win a championship, but it's going to be something we haven't seen in 50-plus years. That's not a wasted season for Russell Westbrook, even though, again, as you said, Don, they play for championships. Wilt Chamberlain in 1961 to 1962 averaged 50 points per game. He did not win the MVP that year. That's not a wasted season. That's still one of the greatest offensive statistics of all time. I think he did 50 and 25 in 61-62, and he came in, third, I think, in the MVP race, or second. He did not win. Bill Russell won that year. So these records are amazing, and they have to be separated from what their playoff success is going to look like for that team or that player or whatever, because these are once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Maybe not once in a lifetime on all of them, once every 10 years, once every 20 years, once every generation, or in the case of Russell Westbrook, these once in maybe 2 to 3 generations. And that is special. That means a lot. It's not even... I mean, I'm almost irritated when I hear it means nothing. 73 wins is the greatest regular season of all time, and that will stand for a very, very long time. And guess what? This season, there's going to be another NBA champion, and it might be the Golden State Warriors. So every year, there's somebody new, but not every year do you see records fall. And that's why it means a whole hell of a lot. Because as a fan, we were alive to see it. We may never see it again in our lifetime. We may forget who won in 2016, the NBA championship, but we will always remember we were around to see 73 wins. We were around to see a triple-double average or whatever record we see.
Interesting.
Champions every year, man. Records, they last decades.
This is my thing. I'm gonna give it to Don because as a player, I think that you aim for the championship, and I see his angle there. But it's funny for me because we see the 73 wins, but nobody seems to remember it as much as I thought people would. People remember blowing a 3-1 lead more than the 73 wins.
That's because they didn't win the championship.
Exactly, and that's why I think Don is right. I mean, you don't remember who comes in second, and the only way you remember who comes in second is surprisingly because they blew a 3-1 lead.
Well, I mean, this is exactly what I thought Mo would say.
They didn't blow a 3-1 lead. Say it was alternating wins and losses all the way to Game 7, and then Golden State lost. Is it still a wasted season? Because you're right, the 3-1 gets a lot of publicity because it's never been done before.
Again, so then it's the same
record.
Thing. Exactly. So it's the same thing,
right?
And you get remembered more for the It's not your first game; it's your last game that people remember. And if in that last game you blew a 3-1 lead,
I super disagree again. And I'll use my Wilt Chamberlain, measure of say 50 and 25, not winning the MVP, but oh man, do we remember him averaging 50 points a game or throwing down 100? That the Ball kid scored 92 the other day, and we were all thinking about Wilt again in 61, even though we weren't alive to watch it. It's the gold standard of most dominant game of all time. He didn't win the MVP that year, and they didn't win the championship. The Boston Celtics won the championship that year. So again, there is a lot of value in regular season accomplishments, whether as an individual or as a team. Again, that's my take. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good point that you just said, that Mo. And I kind of agree with that. But again, the 73 wins there. It's nice to sell tickets. It's nice to sell merchandise. Get traction online. Get a bigger fan base. All of that is nice for the 73 wins. But again, you're as an athlete, these guys are always playing for the chip, the highest award in the NBA, and they want to be the best all the time because that's a competitive edge or competitive.
I get Don. I get it. All I'm saying is I'm trying to debunk the statement of it means nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. It means a whole lot. It's just. Yeah. It would have been nice if it was capped off with you can call them choke artists all you want. Call them choke artists. I'm with you there. I think they choked. But does it take away from the regular season accomplishment? Of course not, man. 73 is I'm just happy to be alive.
And that also it's a great accomplishment that they have, and 73 wins and one more win over the Chicago Bulls. So having that, the internet has created memes about that. Of course, blowing 3-1 lead. Of course, also going to the fact that the 96 Bulls further solidifies that the 96 Bulls was the greatest team ever.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, an argument can be made, but see, that's debatable.
Yeah.
And if you take the season in its entirety with the playoffs, the finals, and the regular season, you're right. They're likely the best team of all time. But we are talking about a solid, tangible record. This is not a debatable record. They are the greatest regular season team of all time. That's hard evidence, and that means something. Everything else you're talking about is debatable. Were the Bulls the greatest team of all time? Yeah, I agree with you, but someone might disagree. You cannot disagree. It's undisputable. The Golden State Warriors had the greatest record ever, and that means something.
See, this is Mo going for their emotions.
Of course,
again.
the 73 wins is not debatable. It's like I said, it's that further. They can further learn from that and fuel themselves for the next season, which is now what's going on now. And they learned from that season already. So it's part of a maturation of the players. But again, towards the end of the day, at the end of the season, players are going to be like, if you ask any of the NBA players or any of the Golden State Warriors, what did you think about last season? And they're going to be like, deep down inside, as a player, they're going to feel like we wasted that season because we didn't win the championship.
Don, I 100% agree with you. 100%. Yeah. And again, it's something that I could never, argue for because I wasn't a player. That's why I said in the beginning, I'm gonna argue this as a stats fan and as a record fan. And I love records of all sports. Baseball, it doesn't matter. Like, baseball, it's so hard. Football, we just saw the Super Bowl last week, right? It's so hard to win multiple championships and Super Bowls that to remove the importance of the regular season is foolish because it's so difficult to win it. That's why I think we should celebrate regular season records more, minus championships, or even if a team chokes or whatever, because it's so goddamn hard to win a championship. And it takes so much to go right for you to do it that I don't want to waste 82 games in the season or even some great playoff series just because the championship didn't work out for you. That's my stand on it. But you're right. As a player, and if you ask any Golden State Warrior how they feel about it, they'll probably say it's wasted. But I'm coming from the perspective of a fan, of a guy who loves and adores records, And that's my take on it, man. Let's not shortchange that season. Yes, last season was one of the greatest seasons of all time, and a lot of it didn't have to do with the finals.
And
it
still-
had to do with what we watched throughout the regular season.
Still blew 3-1 lead.
Yeah, they still moved on. And I think Kyrie Irving's shot, in Game 7 is the greatest shot in NBA history.
Well, then there
Wow.
you go. Wow, that's another debate right there.
Yeah.
That's another story.
That one I'll destroy your asses. If you guys want to debate me on that one.
Don,
the
thanks
Kyrie
for dropping
shot
by.
that he shot, that's the greatest, easily the greatest shot of all time. And I don't see anything close after that.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Don, you're the best, brother.
Yeah, Don, I actually agree with you. I completely understand where Mo is coming from as a stats fan and somebody who looks into the records as a rabid basketball NBA fan like Mo is and like we are as well.
Yeah.
I totally understand where Mo is coming from. But if you ask the players, if you ask most of even the players in the Warriors,
Yeah.
they'll say that doesn't really mean anything because during that year, not every team's going to be going for the championship, right? I mean, the Brooklyn Nets know they're not going to win a championship. But if you're the Golden State Warriors and it was either a title or a bust for them last year. I think they'll be the
But
first ones to admit that.
it's a title or bust for every team, though. I mean, again, as a player, and Don, I don't know how many last place teams you've been on, but even if you're in last, you're still trying to win the whole thing, right? And is it a wasted season if you don't win?
You're trying to win, but if it's mathematically impossible for you to get even into the postseason, I mean, your reality has to kick in.
Yeah, I won't go to the management though and ask for players. I won't do that.
Instead, he's going to go to Twitter and tear somebody's ass up. What's up?
I'll go to Twitter.
All right, Don, thanks for
Don.
dropping by, man.
Congratulations, man.
All right, Don.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good day.
I'll see you at the games,
You
man.
too, sir. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
And our next caller is Joseph. Are you there, buddy?
Hi there.
Welcome to Ball
Hey,
Hogs,
Joseph.
man.
Hello.
All right, so what is your debate topic for today?
Probably yung sa akin yung sa jersey, yung sa advertisement sa jersey.
Ooh,
The logos.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Parang
Hate
yung nabalitaan ko sa NBA, parang in 2 years, I think, magkakaroon ng parang jersey.
I thought it's next season. Isn't it next season
Yeah.
already? I think Boston next season already has the GE Electric logo on their jersey, if I'm not mistaken. And doesn't Philadelphia have StubHub?
StubHub, yeah.
That's next season
That's
already,
next
right?
season.
Yeah,
That's not 2 years.
There's a few more. There's a few more that have released it. I think the Kings have one as well.
Is that the Sofa Kings?
I'm not sure. Let me search for it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
go
believe
ahead.
it's next season. But anyway,
Yeah,
go
anyway.
ahead. So what's your stand on this?
Sa akin naman, parang, okay lang, pero mas parang gusto ko yung wala. Kasi medyo traditional kasi, more on traditional lang. Parang mas okay yung parang okay na yung ganun sila. Yung
Okay.
team logo
Yeah.
lang.
Okay, so you're not for it.
No.
Not for it. Okay. Gino, what do you think?
Honestly, I don't really care. I mean, as long as it doesn't really totally take over the jersey,
You
right?
have to care for the segment.
Right.
You have to care.
No, I mean, it's as long as it doesn't look like a race car driver's uniform that has all the patches and the logos of these different sponsors. Like, you mean, I'm not bothered by, like Spain has the San Miguel logo on their jersey. Like Argentina has the Visa
Yeah.
or MasterCard.
So
I mean,
are you for it or not?
I mean, if it's gonna help generate more money to
Are you
leagues
for
that-
it or not?
Right. Pero
I'm
sa
for
akin,
it.
You're for it.
I'm
You're
for it. I'm for it only because
I am for it as well.
I mean,
What the hell is wrong with both of you?
I mean, I don't mind. I don't
I
mind.
will.
If-
You will understand as well when
Yeah.
I
I mean,
thought about this.
You look at like Real Madrid.
Don't use any of your bullets yet. Don't use the bullets.
Those are not iconic jerseys.
Let's
wait,
wait for Mo. Let's wait for Mo. Mo, I'm
Real
guessing.
Madrid?
Wait.
You're talking about
Real
Laker
Madrid.
jersey.
Oh.
Laker jersey.
Wait.
Yeah, you have your aneurysm.
Mo.
Those are not iconic jerseys. Basketball?
Mo, God damn it, Mo. I'm guessing
Over
you're not for
100
it.
years.
I'm guessing
Yeah,
you're not for it. You're not for it at all.
No.
Not.
So he agrees.
Okay.
He agrees with
So
our
you
caller.
Of course,
agree with
those
our
are
caller.
iconic jerseys, but they're not iconic NBA
Okay,
jerseys. And
okay.
I agree with the caller. I hate it. Hate
So,
it.
so Joseph, you get to pick. Who do you want to debate, myself or Gino Rufino?
I think Jinno, because I always see him sa
Ayan.
So where?
And you see you in the news, I guess.
In the news.
Okay, so Jinno.
Okay,
you're going
Jinno.
Jinno or you're going Aaron? Who's it?
He's going Jinno.
Okay, Jinno. All right. Well, fire away. Why don't you like it? Tell us.
Meron kasing instance na yung example din sa football, parang nawawala na yung team logo. As long na yung parang mas malaki yung parang team logo compared din sa ina-advertise nila sa jersey. Okay lang, pero may mga instance kasi na nawawala na yung team logo, yung pinapalit nila is yung parang yung kung ano yung ina-advertise nila. So, parang nawawala yung essence nung mismong pangalan ng team.
Okay.
Yep.
So you don't like it because you don't see the team name.
Yeah, parang...
Well,
kumbaga,
it gets drowned
It
out.
gets
or
drowned
diluted.
out by
Yeah.
by a sponsor logo.
So you're,
okay.
you're
Hell yeah.
well, I
Parang
mean,
minsan sa football ako napapansin na yung mga jersey nila. Instead na yung name ng team yung nandun.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
who wears Emirates? I don't even know what freaking team that is. All I see
That's
is Emirates.
Arsenal.
Yep. See, I had no idea.
That's
'Cause I see
Arsenal.
Emirates. I say Emirates. Team.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
it's disgusting. All right. Anyway, here you go.
Real Madrid has
Gino.
also has that, right? But,
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The volume of our caller was a little bit low.
Yeah, he was just saying that
But-
that he doesn't like it because the
It just
logos,
dilutes
it
the
just
name of the
yeah.
team.
Yeah, but it's
or
okay. I
what.
mean, if you've seen like what Nike has released for the little logos that they have, I mean, it's first of all, it's the same color as the team colors, right?
Yes.
It's not like in Boston. It's not like the GE is going to be blue. It's still green,
Okay.
right? They're going to follow the color combination of the teams that they're gonna be putting the logos on. So I mean, I don't mind it. They're small. It's on the sleeve. It's like where the Nike swoosh or the old champion.
Yeah.
You know that C. I mean, it's there. It's in the top. It's in the top left, if I'm not mistaken. It's really small, and you'll see it when there's close up of the players when they're shooting free throws. When they're called for a foul and you see them with their eyes wide open. It's like trying to plead with a referee. So it's not gonna be super it's
Invasive.
Invasive. Sorry,
Yeah.
there we go. It's not gonna be super invasive. And if it's gonna help the teams generate more money to give players more money and these ridiculous amount of
Yeah, 'cause
contracts.
they're starving. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
they're
seriously.
starving. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I mean, I understand. I'm an old school guy too. I enjoy a lot of the stuff that happened, like the throwback jerseys and whatnot, and I love those. But I just don't understand why it would be such a big deal if you really won't see it as too much,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's
Okay. All right.
Mo,
That's it.
Mo, your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I hate the argument, just because, I mean, if it's so small, then why put it there anyway? Put it on the warm-up. Put it on the warm-up stuff or something like that. I mean, if it's going to be tiny, like, okay, the StubHub patch on the 76ers, yeah, it's small. You could barely read it. So what's the point? Why then destroy the jersey? The GE one is obnoxious. Oh, God, I hate it. The one on the Celtics. And again, we're talking about a jersey that, and you talked about it earlier, one of the great franchises of all time, and now to just deface that jersey is kind of gross, and I'm really super against it. How much more money you're gonna make off of this stuff?
Okay,
you're
so
making a ton of money already. I put it
yeah.
on the warm ups. Don't put it on the jersey.
For
and again, what's great about the NBA, and say you compare it to the PBA. And we talked about this in the past episode. How would we love if the teams were geographical based instead of corporate based? So when you have a jersey that says Boston and it says GE on it, all of a sudden now, while the Boston word is still bigger and it's about that city and that team, all of a sudden I got this corporate thing next to it. It's kind of taking a little bit out of the city, and I don't like it.
Okay, I don't know. I guess this is the very, very big influence that me and Gino have with football in our lives.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe that's why I don't
it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me
Like,
because
for
I'm so
me-
used to seeing it.
And I love it when a brand new sponsor comes in. Like, I'm a Manchester United fan, and when they signed with Chevrolet put $80 million in their bank account every single year, and that is paying for $80 million of the $100 million that they owe Paul Pogba. I would love to have my teams have extra income so that they can go out and find other players that can make my team better.
Yeah,
And
but
if-
these
it's a
teams
business.
have these teams have caps, or they've got like
a
luxury
business.
tax. It's not like you can just put that money into players, And yes, while it is a business, leave something for the fan base. Like, okay, fine, you already called the Boston Garden, which was an iconic place. Now it's called the TD Garden or whatever the hell it's called now. I don't even remember. If you change the Madison Square Garden and then all of a sudden we're going to call it the Jollibee Center, I'm going to be pissed off. Yankee Stadium is always Yankee Stadium. It will forever be Yankee Stadium. If you goddamn change it again to, Kia Yankee Stadium, then I'm going to be pissed. You have to leave something solely for the fans so you don't commercialize these things, because again, there's a city and a fan base. That's like a city at stake. A city. An entire population of people that demand you to parade down the street, because that's what they have. Leave something for them that's 100%. And I think it should be the jersey, because you're already bastardizing the names of these arenas. Every year it's a different name.
Yeah.
How many American Airlines arenas are there? Like 2?
Yeah.
3? I don't know. I mean, what's the separate? What changes between Dallas now and say Miami's arena? Because all of a sudden they're called the same thing. You have to leave something. It would be great if the arenas were still called the City Arena or whatever. Now it's called some corporate sponsor. Leave something for the fans.
I agree with you there, but as a fan, I would rather have my team sign players. Like,
They'll still
shit, I don't know
players.
where they play, but hey, we signed Carmelo Anthony. Like, I don't know. For me, I'm cool with that.
No, that's a flawed argument, because all
Yeah.
of them are going to pay a penalty if they go over a certain amount.
Yeah, well,
anyway.
I mean,
So, no,
the sponsorship will help with the penalty as well. That's just, I mean, that is how I guess me and Jinno see it, because when we're watching football,
with increasing political ramifications that sports, and the players' opinions and stuff like that. Like, for example, and I don't want to get political here, but you take like Tesla, you take Uber, you take these guys that their CEOs are in line with Donald Trump and part of Donald Trump's economic staff or advisory. All of a sudden, what if Golden State has an Uber patch on them, and then all of a sudden the Uber's now associated with the president, and then you get all of these other political stuff that comes into play when you put corporations and teams side by side.
See, and I
Now,
love
what if the CEO of some company ends up to being a child molester or a rapist or a bigot or whatever? All of a sudden, the jersey of the team you're cheering for is tarnished.
And I can guarantee everyone right now, this is not sponsored by whatever ice cream truck is going wherever Joseph is. Joseph, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, Joseph.
Thank you.
It was
I mean, say the coaches now, Steve Kerr, Popovich, they've all been much more open and vocal about their political beliefs. I think then you incorporate another element there into sports, and boy, it's just going to get so much drama.
I don't know. It just don't mean I'm a football fan, man. It works that way.
I guess we're just so used to it.
Yeah.
That it's not.
I mean, I watch
even in the PBA as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like.
I mean,
we-
Gilas.
And it's one of the things we hate about the PBA.
I guess we're just used to it. I mean, it's like I'm so numb to having a logo there that to me it doesn't really matter.
I think that's a very good point. That we're just so numb to it because
we identify some of these teams and its fan base and its history, even with colors. You say purple and gold, it's the Lakers. Now you're going to say, oh, yeah, purple and gold and Nokia. It's like, Jesus.
No, but I mean, in
on
the
now.
same way, I mean, you think about Real Madrid and it's still Los Blancos. I mean, it's not, Fly Emirates. It's not. It's Los Blancos.
Yeah.
Or you think about Man United, you don't think, oh, Chevrolet. Or even when they were Aeon before. No, it's the Red Devils. I mean, it's still the same way. I guess it's just how long you have been surrounded by commercialization of sports that has you okay with it to some extent. Yeah, that's an interesting topic right there.
Yeah,
actually.
but I mean, I also don't care about jersey numbers though. So I mean, I might be like the worst person to ask about this because I don't care if like
So you have no problem with Kevin Rakal having the number 61 for Alaska?
none, zero. Like I really don't I don't understand the infatuation of
But that's different.
of number 23. of
Oh,
number,
see,
number
no.
24,
No.
of number 8.
No.
I don't get it.
No.
I really don't. Of number 33 or number 32, I understand that we
there's
remember
always
people
been
because of it.
superstition. There's always been
I know, I
superstition.
get
in
that,
sports.
but-
There's always been
but-
I'm honoring somebody with this
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
I'm honoring a fallen somebody or an idol. I idolize somebody. There's an emotional component there.
course,
We're
of
talking
course.
corporate here. There's no emotional component there.
This is interesting. Well, man, a lot of interesting thoughts coming out of the episode so far
Okay.
today. Let's move on. Let's bring in June for our final caller for today. June,
I want to see a player get a tattoo. There you go. You want a goddamn jersey? Pay the players to tattoo GE on their arm or whatever. There you go.
Or you have a player sign on your arm and you tattoo that.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Mo?
me, baby. emotional component.
June, are you
right,
there?
anyway.
Yep.
Hey,
June.
Just loving the energy, June. June, what is your?
June, I'm
debate
sorry
topic?
we called you to bother you.
Yeah,
What do you got, buddy?
It's my hobby every morning to go through the tweet, and I read your post.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Thank you. All right. So you're here. What do you got?
What's up?
Yeah, still, I think it's a long, matagal na tong topic na to. If who's the best power forward of all time. So they say that luck na daw ni Team Duncan yung post na yon, but I still believe na for me it's Larry Bird.
Is Larry
Wasn't
Bird
he
considered
more of a
power
small forward though?
Though Larry Bird sometimes he plays small forward, but most of the time he plays power forward.
I don't say most of the. Kevin McHale was the 4.
Yeah.
Robert
Yeah.
Parrish was the 5. Larry Bird was the 3.
Yeah, but
I
think
mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that Larry
Yeah.
Bird could play any position on the basketball court.
But they played him as power forward.
Well, no, that's what we're saying. Like he's not. They did not play him as power forward, but can we consider him as a big forward? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did they play him as a power forward? No. I mean, that
They
was
used
Kevin
him as a
McHale's
3.
spot.
Yeah.
They used him
Yeah,
as
he
3,
was
but,
clear,
but
and-
he's so skilled and so good and so smart
Right.
that he could play any position on the basketball court.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
that's-
Bird,
yeah,
you're-
that's
Bird
the-
now would be a power forward.
or the best forward. So I think it's still Bird.
Okay, so now it's the
yeah, let's
best
just say who's
forward.
best big forward.
Big
Okay,
forward,
big
big,
forward.
big
Yeah,
forward, like
big
6'9"
forward of all
up,
time.
6'9" up, big forward.
Okay.
So
Sure.
All right.
don't
Okay.
include LeBron James.
Yeah, yeah, because if we do it's forward, it's LeBron. Okay, so you say that Larry Bird is the best big forward
yeah, let's just use big forward.
of all time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. Mo?
Gosh, I don't even know if he's in the top 3. I mean, everybody's gonna say Tim Duncan. Let me just go and pick somebody else. But
Okay.
it's probably Tim. I'll go Karl Malone.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's an interesting
Yeah.
choice.
What?
No. Just yeah, but you because
okay.
that's the argument against mine is of course the championships. But
Yeah.
aside from that, I think he's rock solid
Okay.
in every other aspect.
Okay.
But again, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mr. Rufino?
the only person I can think of that's not Tim Duncan. I mean, to me, it's Duncan.
Yeah, definitely.
Not, but the only one who comes close would be KG.
Okay.
Right? I mean, and if you want to go further
Yeah,
back,
and you don't and you want to go the whole championships. Oh, you got one.
yeah, I would say KG would come in second, but I would go Duncan. But I mean, Larry Bird. I look, and it's not because he's a Celtic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have full respect to Larry Bird. I used to live in Boston, and I know how crazy those guys are over
Yeah.
there about number 33. And he like I said, he may not, in my book, he's not a power forward, but he can play any position he wants in a basketball.
Okay, so
Okay.
you say KG,
I say TD. I say Duncan.
Duncan. Okay, I say Duncan also. Mo says Karl Malone. June, you get to pick who you want to debate. Myself, Jinno, who came off of both of them actually had a debate today. So who do you pick?
I think I'd pick Mo.
All right,
Oh,
there you
okay.
go.
I want
It's
to
an
see
easy-
this too.
it's an
I want to
easy
see this one.
I have no bullets for this. I will
Okay.
try to come up with some shit. All right, let's go.
June,
June, you
June,
go
you get
first while I try to research something. Go.
June? Go ahead.
June, why?
Why is Larry Bird the best big forward to ever play the game?
Yeah, because honestly, hindi ko siya inabutan maglaro. But
Okay.
Well, that helps.
Watching those documentaries about him made me get more interested about how he plays. So when they entered, I think they entered NBA together with Magic Johnson. So that's the time na medyo hindi ganun ka popular yung NBA. And then sila talagang dalawa yung nagdala ng NBA to the limelight.
True.
With the way how they play. So parang sa that contribution Tapos, the way they play, he can play everything. Like what you've said, any position of the game. Tapos, his basketball IQ, I think, siguro wala pa rin nakakapantay doon amongst the forward as of today. And yeah, shooting, he's got outside, inside, and then he knows how to pass. So for me, lahat ng skills sa basketball, he got it.
Okay. I mean, everything you said was true. But I'm sure Mo has found some bullets.
No, I haven't yet.
Fire back with.
Well, here's the problem when you debate me, and I know I might get. I probably this is why sometimes girlfriends hate me or other people who talk to me dislike me is because I take your wording and that's what I'm taking. The wording. Yes. Okay, well, you said who's the best power forward of all time, and then you told me what a well-rounded player he does and other positions he can play, and all of a sudden the question gets lost. The merits of the question. So. Power forward, meaning big forward, right? Is what we're saying. So that's a guy who goes down there with brute strength, can bang down below, can finish. And I think Karl Malone is all of that stuff. Body-wise, we all know the physique. We all know what kind of great shape he was in. And that's why he's able to withstand the punishment that Larry Bird could not withstand. Karl Malone is what most free throws ever made in history of the NBA. He co-holds the record for the most first-team All-NBA selections. Larry Bird is not in that category, not in that conversation. And, of course, Karl Malone is second in the NBA history in points scored. So there's a lot of hardware there. Now, where he falls short, of course, championships. And that has a lot to do with your supporting cast, the generation you played in, and all of that other stuff. But if we're talking individual, is what we are, right? Individual big forward, I just think Karl Malone has more hardware, played the position truer than Larry Bird did. And, I mean, the accolades are more impressive than Larry Bird's. The eye test, Larry's is very sexy. The fan base, Larry's very sexy. Larry's a white guy. You don't see a lot of white guys doing all that stuff he does. But, Karl Malone was a beast down there. And, he's got that's my argument. I mean, most first-team All-NBA selections, meaning he was the top 5 player in the NBA more than anyone ever has done it except Kobe Bryant. They tied. So that counts for a lot.
Okay. All right.
And, by the way, and my favorite Karl Malone stat of all time, he only missed 10 games in his career. In at least until he got to the Lakers when he had that awful injury at the end. Yeah. But prior to that, what did he miss? Like freaking 10 games, I think, in his entire NBA season. While Larry Bird, not calling him fragile, but was rather brittle towards the end and missed a lot of time or had to always come out of the game. Karl Malone was a stud who never missed a game for 18 years.
Yeah, I would like to know who had the shorter shorts. Like they were magnificent shorts on both of those men.
Both of them. I think Karl Malone would sometimes borrow John Stockton's shorts.
It's just like, sorry, dude, need some shorts.
All right, Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Okay, it's Duncan. I obviously think it's Duncan.
No, but we're
between Mo
and that's why. I mean, obviously it's Duncan, so everybody had to lose that from their mind. I do think that Larry Bird. I mean, my dad was the biggest and still is the biggest Boston Celtics fan I've ever known. I mean, he was a Celtics fan since Bill Russell days, and that's how old my dad is. So I've always grown up idolizing Larry Bird. But I mean, when you're number 2 in scoring all time, I mean that's tough to beat. It's tough to beat. Karl Malone and John Stockton were. I mean, Karl changed the way the power forward position was played. I mean, a mid-range jumper for a power forward off a pick and roll on a pick and pop, that wasn't normal before Karl Malone, and Karl Malone did that.
All right. Well, here's my take on that. I mean, when you say power, of course it's not. It's brain. You got to give to Karl Malone. But when you say big, they're about the same height.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, sure, Larry Bird may not be as muscular as Karl Malone, but he may not be as durable as Karl Malone, but he makes up for it in infinite ways, more than. I mean, honestly, I just think Karl Malone is actually is pretty overrated in my opinion. I really don't.
51% career,
dude. I really don't think overrated? He's that good. I really don't. I think he was a good player.
You think he'd be good now?
I think he would be good now, but I don't think to put him in the top in the top, even in the top 5 forwards in power, even if you want to call it power forwards, I can't even put him there.
Excuse me, I just threw up and swallowed it back. Sorry. Yeah, continue.
I can't even put it there. I just can't. And it's so for me to say that I agree with June and he chose a Celtic, even the second most glorified Celtic ever, who's of course the anti-Laker. But I have to give it to Bird. I mean, if we're talking about a big forward that has impacted the game in so many different ways, and like what June said also is that if it wasn't for Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, the league would have been in trouble. I mean, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about the NBA possibly.
But I mean, who's the better defender? Karl Malone, Larry Bird. Karl Malone, easy, right? 3-time All-NBA first team. Better rebounder? Karl Malone, right? Better scorer? Karl Malone. Again, there's the records are there because he did those things, right? 51% from the field career percentage, 1.5 steals per game career average, which is very, very good even in today's standard. And again, the durability has to count for a lot more. That's the part I think where it's as glaring as maybe you can say an outside shot between Larry Bird and Karl Malone. The durability factor, I think, is something that should not be overrated. It has to be respected. 10 games out of 1,400 games he missed. 1,444 games, he only missed 10.
But but to be the best player
in an era where they were physical, brutalized you down below. He played against in an era that was unforgiving. 1,444 games, he only missed 10.
But to be the best, to be a best player in the league for several seasons, and to be the best player on 3 championship teams. Yeah. That's what Larry Bird did.
But he played with on those teams. He also played with multiple Hall of Fame players on that squad. So
yes,
but Karl Malone didn't have that, and was still again. That's why we give all the accolades to James Harden this year and Russell Westbrook for being able to succeed with a lesser squad. Larry Bird had Hall of Famers on his team.
Yeah, but it's not like Karl Malone didn't have his chances. He was in the NBA Finals twice.
He had to play Jordan,
Michael.
though.
And he just got John Stockton.
He had Greg Ostertag.
Dude,
Karl
no Hall of Famers on that squad.
What's Karl Malone's low post move? Use his elbows to clear, knock David Robinson on the floor.
I grew up watching Larry Bird, and
dude, Larry Bird's dirty as hell.
Larry Bird
was hella dirty.
The dirtiest
but
So
he was hella
the
dirty.
argument?
But he's not as because he wasn't as big as Karl Malone.
No,
he did not.
So let's take back some of Shaq's legacy because he was too big.
No, but all I'm saying is, look, Larry Bird. Now we're talking about the better player, right? We're not even talking about forward anymore. We're talking about who's the better player.
No.
Who
I'm still
will
talking about
argue
forward.
that Bird was a better player than Karl Malone?
No, well, okay.
I mean, a better player, fine. I'm talking about better big. Because, again, when you say better player, then all of a sudden, 3-point shots and assists and all of the... I'm talking big forward. Karl Malone, man.
So imagine if the 3-point shot was being used as much as it was today during Bird's time.
Yeah, but Larry Bird would be one of the greatest ever if he played
Bird
now.
was bad. Bird was so nasty.
Bird would have been an undersized Dirk Nowitzki.
I still think Bird would be able to dominate today.
Yeah, because Bird was one of the best trash talkers in the league ever. Well, all right. So
anyway, I think you benefit from your squad too, man. And that squad was deep. And
I mean, I was the only Laker fan in all of Boston for 3 years.
Yeah, okay.
So I've been brainwashed about Larry Bird.
You're right. Larry Bird was the better player. Yes, I will not debate that. I know I'm going to get messages saying I'm a moron. But I think durability is probably the dark horse in my argument. I don't mind being wrong about this one, but durability, goddamn it. 10 games. Jesus Christ. Come on.
All right, well, June, you do win a Gilas.
You know why Larry Bird was hurting on that? Because elbows. Just bounced off. Malone.
June, thanks for joining us, man. You win.
You win a Gilas merchandise. But wait, you were trying to say something, June?
Hello. Just to argue about Karl Malone, I think one of the reasons why he got into scoring is because he have John Stockton.
Yes.
John Stockton is
shut the hell
Stockton to Malone.
So he makes Karl Malone looks good.
Oh,
I think that's
Come on.
please. No, shut
I
up.
would say a percentage
Hell
of Karl
no.
Malone's points a good percentage
Of
came from
course,
John
of
Stockton creating that
course.
basket
But
for him.
you can argue that
It's
with
the-
Bird, who had the friggin' one of the great Celtics teams of all time. Oh, please, no.
God,
How
he
dare
had
you.
DJ. He had DJ, and then he had
Hall of
He had
Famers.
Parrish and
McHale,
McHale
all Hall of
inside.
Famers.
I
all
mean,
Hall of Famers.
Bird could do anything. He was getting single coverage every fucking game.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Come on now. Come on.
Yeah.
How dare you?
June,
All right.
no, June, no. Congratulations, though. You win. And thanks for dropping by. You call Ball Hogs anytime you want, man.
All right.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
He was so excited
Thanks.
about the win, too. Like,
Right.
he was just like, yeah, cool. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, that'll
I
wrap
got
up
my
this
ass
episode
kicked
of...
today on the debates. Yeah.
That wraps
win
up
one
Ball
round.
Hogs for today, man. That was fun.
Yeah.
This was a fun episode today.
No, I
Yes, it
almost
was.
you almost Mo, you almost changed my mind in the first one.
Yeah.
But
Oh, with Don?
with Don, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just didn't agree
I
with
felt
it.
most right about that one. These other ones I was meant to struggle. I felt
right.
more right about the Don one.
We'll see
Yeah.
you guys next week. We will be taping on Wednesday. That is for sure, because if we don't, we won't have Gina Rufino around. So that
Yes.
needs to happen.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
Yeah, so
All right,
we
we'll
have to
see you
tape on
guys
Wednesday.
then.
Or maybe Tuesday, but no, Wednesday.
No, there's nothing good happening.
But that's
on...
okay.
That's
Yeah,
Valentine's
we'll talk
Day.
about it. We'll talk. It's
Valentine's
Valentine's Day. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's
all
not,
right, all right.
not like I have anything to do anyway. For Mo Twister, for Gina Rufino, I'm Aaron Tide. We'll see you guys next time on Ball Hogs. Bye.
Bye, guys.